Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden.
Hey you guys, hi everybody.
Yeah, so guys, we're out here in our front yard. We're gonna stake our dahlias and we're gonna show you a couple different ways to do that today and what we're gonna do with these behind us specifically.
Yeah, we've got a lot of supplies to show you, different things we're gonna use. We also have a little bit of care to take care of with these dahlias because we had some heat damage a couple weeks ago and we had aphids. So we've got a couple things to check for and look and just show you. So hopefully this will be helpful for you today.
So guys, a couple reasons why you might want to stake your plants. One thing is you just want them to stay upright. You want them to grow straight up. They're going to look better that way. You've spaced them for that purpose. And when they actually flower, a lot of times, especially dahlias, they get these big blooms and they want to go over. They get top heavy. So that's one reason to keep them staked, or you want to stake them. The other thing is you might have a lot of traffic moving through an area and people might brush up or animals might brush up against them. You might have a lot of larger pollinators come and visit and that'll pull them over too. Another thing is that if it's windy, sometimes with the wind it'll catch those big blooms that come on these dahlias or other plants, and it's just good to have them staked so they don't move around too much or they don't flop over. So that's why we put these stakes here, and we're going to show you a couple different ways to stake your plants, your dahlias, and then we're going to show you what we're going to do out here.
Okay, you guys, so one thing you're probably wondering is what supplies do you need, to stake your dahlias, and it depends on how you're going to stake them. So we kind of got a whole bunch of supplies out here we wanted to show you so you can, think about it and think of what works best for you. So first thing, you need something to hold them up. So we've got options. You can use a wood stake if you have like pieces of wood laying around, or any, something that's sturdy, not a flimsy or thin piece of wood. We've got bamboo, which might be a little flimsier, but if you don't have a very tall dahlia or maybe something very strong or thick, this might be a good option. You also have metal. There's metal stakes. They could just be like this, like a straight stake, or they might have a little hoop on the top. There's also flower cages that actually have kind of a larger hoop and like several hoops around them that you could put carefully over your dahlia, and then it would kind of like just hold it in. Or you can use a tall metal stake like we're going to use. And the reason we have these spaced out in our beds is because we're going to have very tall dahlias. We're expecting that because we know, based on the packaging. So we needed something taller than these options. So it just depends on what your needs are and what kind of dahlia you're growing. So once you've figured out what type of support you need to use based on what type of dahlia you're growing, you need to figure out how to secure them to that support. So there's lots of options, you guys. There's nylon rope, which we're actually going to use, and we'll show you how we're going to set that up. You can use these really cool type of like soft like twist ties. Basically you just cut them to whatever size you need and you literally just twist them. They're really easy on the stems, and we like these. We've been using these on our crocosmia. We've used them on our campanula, and the link will be down below for these, or for a lot of these supplies. Just look down below if you're not sure where to go to find this stuff. So we like these. Real quick, notice how they're brown or green, and you can pick depending on the color of your stem. So that's cool. We've used this for years. This is just straight up twine. Just cut as much as you need and secure these to whatever stake you're using. So this is another option. So you're going to want to think about how you want to secure them, what you want to use.
So guys, as an example, I'm going to show you how to use this bamboo stake to keep this dahlia upright so it doesn't move around too much, doesn't get knocked over, doesn't get too top heavy, either with just the weight, or even like if it rains and it gets moisture, then it just wants to go down. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you want to do is get your stake, have your stake, and and in this case we're using one of our twist ties that Allison showed you just now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this stake and we're going to put it close to the plant, but we're not going to get right up next to it. And the reason we're not going to get right up next to it is because we don't want to hurt the plant's root system down below. We don't want to sever roots and damage it. That's kind of like, why are we going to even stake it? That's going to hurt the plant. It kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stake, I'm going to bring it out from the stem. So the cool thing is you can see this stem actually comes up and then it bows out a little bit. So that'll help us, because this will help us keep the stake out further, and this will be near the stake so we don't have to use so much of the twist tie. So what I'm going to do is take this stake, I'm going to put it out from the plant itself. I'm going to try and position it here like this. I'm just going to push it down into the soil. See? And there you go. there's our stake, there's our support. I'm gonna use this twist tie. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come around the plant. I'm not gonna take this and put it around this and twist it onto the plant. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna come around the plant here. And you wanna just nicely do this. You don't need to just jam it in there and, you know, risk again hurting your plant. So here guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you. We're gonna take this twist tie, we're gonna feed it through nicely, and we're gonna go either above or below where these leaves are, because we don't want to impact the growth of this plant. We don't want to girdle it, right? We don't want it too tight, and we don't want to make the leaves grow in a weird way to give the plant, you know, a weird look. So what we're going to do is we're just going to nicely put this through here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up above here, and I'll show you here in a minute. Let me get this through.
It's kind of hard to see, right?
It is.
A lot of foliage.
It is. So here's this. So here, I'll lift this up, and you can see what I did is I've got this through. And so what I've done is I've come up just below where these two leaves are coming, just below that, and I've come around, and now I've come back with the other end to meet up the two ends here of this twist tie, and now this plant will have the support of this stake. So guys, we've got this through here, and now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this twist tie is just cradling. It's not like tight around that we don't want it too tight around that stem. We just want it to cradle it. So what we do is you can see it there. It just kind of loops around, and I'm going to bring these two ends of this twist tie together, and all I'm going to do is just kind of bring them like this, and then I'm just going to twist them, and there you go. And that's pretty much it.
Nice.
That's all there is. You want to make sure that whatever tie system or twine or whatever you're using, you want to make sure it's not girdling the plant, it's not too tight around the plant, because it's going to impact the plant's growth and its ability to even keep flowering. Because if you impact a plant with more stress, it's going to pull back, and it's going to really negatively impact its ability to flower. It can anyway, and you don't want to do that. You want to lessen any impact or any stress on your plant, because you want it to keep flowering and be beautiful.
Now, what do you mean by girdling?
Good question.
Explain that?
Good question. Yeah, so girdling is when anything gets around a plant, whether it's wire, whether it's landscape fabric. I mean, it can be almost anything. It gets around a plant and it actually strangles it. It actually cuts into its outer layer, its outer stem, and it blocks the flow of nutrients and water up and down the stem to the leaves and down to the roots and all that. That's what girdling is. It literally cuts off all the translocation of any nutrients and water around the plant. So when you hear somebody say you don't want to girdle your plant, that's what they're talking about.
You guys, we have to stop and point out this gorgeous little dahlia that just popped. Actually, a whole bunch of blooms have opened up in the last day. Isn't that beautiful? This is actually from Proven Winners. This is the only one that we bought actually already blooming. Well, not blooming, it was growing. It had already been planted. This is called Dahlia. It's a line of dahlias they have. Dahlia Grande Tequila. And this should get a lot higher, probably up to 15 to 18 inches tall, so it's kind of little right now. And we've got all these dahlias starting to pop over here. Oh, look at that. So beautiful.
Yep, they're getting ready to just explode.
I know, you can see some are getting really tall and really big.
These guys here, and yep.
So some of you might have seen our video maybe a few weeks ago where we got these all planted, and we had already started all the bulbs in our greenhouse. Now over here, you guys, we've got some damage. Yeah, we had two things happen right here to this poor guy. We probably just need to clip that stem off, right?
Yeah.
We had heat damage from our huge heat wave we had here in the Pacific Northwest. We also had aphids. So this poor guy just didn't have a chance.
So guys, just showed you an example of how to use a twist tie and a bamboo stake.
Exactly.
So there are supports out here, some stakes that you don't need to use a twist tie with, or they're not intended to have twist ties used with them. And that's one of these. It's got the hoop up top. It's got a little hook inside here. And basically what you do is you take this, stick it down in the soil close to a plant, but not through the root system, and don't damage the plant if you can help it at all. And then what you do is you take the plant and loop it inside this the support structure, and it just holds it in here, and it should keep it relatively inside there. It should keep it upright unless something crazy happens. That's how these are designed. So basically, I'll show you how to do this.
While Sean gets that ready, I have to mention this isn't really my favorite type of support. Like we have used these for years on some other plants that don't need a lot of support, because they're kind of like, they kind of fall over sometimes, I've noticed.
We don't have the best success with these. We have more success with the twist ties. It's more guaranteed that they're going to stay upright. These we haven't had. There's no guarantees with these. So you can also use a twist tie along with this if you want to.
I would do
but
that.
I mean, they're made so you don't have to, or you're not supposed to. So basically, what I'm going to do, guys.
Let me get over here
I'm
so you
just
can
gonna
watch.
So I'm going to take this stake right by this dahlia, but see how far I am away from it, so I don't damage too much or any of its root system. I'm going to go as straight up and down as I can with it. I'm going to stick it in the ground there. And what you want to do is, oops, it kind of already went inside there. So what you want to do is you want to get it close to and get it to a point where it's going to hold this. So when you're putting this down, you're gauging it also how close it is to that stem and where you're going to hook it through. So I'm still going down. That's about as far as she's going to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way because I need to kind of bend this a little bit so it's not pulling on the plant. There we go. So this is not going to impact or pull the plant either way now, and that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, and then you just kind of loop your stem through there, and there you go. That's pretty much all there is to it.
All right, let's take a look from over here and see.
And if you don't like how it's positioned inside here, if this isn't what you want, you can always turn this a little bit one way or the other to get it into a better position. But that's how you use those. It's pretty easy. You just got to take your time and go slow with it and make sure you're not hurting the plant and you're getting it positioned just the way you want.
Yeah, the way you've done that, I mean, it looks great. It looks like it will really hold. So I don't know, some plants just don't really respond very well to this type of support.
That's true.
Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah. You know, and everything we're going over with you guys right now, this is all for single stem flower support. You know, you wouldn't want to use, it could be a little bit trickier, and we've shown other videos, I think, with the crocosmia, and maybe some other plants where you can use multiple stakes to kind of corral a bunch of plants together, and that's perfectly doable. But you can also use different types of cages and other things to actually get a mass of plants that might be wanting to just fall over, like a crocosmia, like a Shasta daisy, or anything else that has a crown and has all these flowers come up. There's other ways to keep those upright and to give them support. We're not going to talk specifically about those today because that's not what this video is about, but that'll be coming up in the near future.
Okay, you guys, so Sean gave you a couple options for supporting and staking your dahlias, but we're gonna do it a little bit different because we do have so many in this one bed, in this one area, and also over there. So we have these 6-foot metal spikes that we have in the bed. So you can see we have, 4 of them in this bed and 5 in the other bed. So the idea is to connect the rope to all these stakes, kind of like making a crisscross kind of pattern that you'll see we're going to do in just a minute. And the idea is to just basically support all the dahlias at once. So it's kind of a fun way to create your own trellis, basically, using not very expensive supplies. So I think with that, you'll see on the video, we're going to actually get this started, and we'll talk a little more about it when we're done.
So guys, here we are, and this is where we're at right now with all this nylon rope. We can still go a little bit higher if we want to.
I think we'll need to.
And if we need to, but right now we're looking pretty good. We've got, there's one level here, there's a second level, and then there's the third level, and that's all along the back side. And then we've got one going along the middle here to support a couple other ones, especially this guy right here, to give support there so it doesn't fall over once it really starts blooming. So yeah, this looks good. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we're gonna need to add a little bit more rope though as these keep growing. Like we said, we'll probably go up, and then we might need to do one from here over to there just to kind of like, because all of these are supposed to get really tall. So we might need to kind of like secure him in a little better. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so you guys, you probably can't see it, but this post and this post, they're kind of offset from each other. So this post here is a little bit further that way than this one. And that's why Allison was saying going from this post over to this post would be good for some of these guys in here that are a little bit further closer to the camera for support. So we can definitely do that.
Well, and we had the bed that we have is kind of an L shape, so we had to kind of be creative. I actually could see us adding a couple more of these metal stakes.
Yeah, we always can. We can always add
I think we might
more.
need a couple more, and maybe like one right there and maybe one over there. But we'll see how things roll out here.
Yeah.
So the next step is we'll just keep adding rope as needed, and we need to do that bed down there.
Yep. This bed's next. So guys, that's how we're gonna stake our dahlias. We hope that was helpful, and especially with the single supports that we showed you earlier. Everything you saw here for supplies is gonna be down below, in the links down below if you wanna try and find those for yourself, if they'll fit your situation and what your needs are.
Yeah, guys, we hope that was helpful. If you have dahlias of your own and you're looking, for ideas, we hope we gave you some different options to check out.
Yeah, guys, with that, just leave any comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you, and we are getting to everybody's comments and questions.
we are.
It's just a little bit slower process than we'd like, but we're getting to you, so just hang in there if we haven't gotten back to you yet. And you know what? Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on all our latest garden care videos, because we've got a lot more coming.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun videos coming your way. So yeah, you guys, thank you for being here and for watching today. And we hope you have a great day in your garden, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.